Good morning. Today we return to our reading of the Poetic Edda, the version that was translated by Caroline Larrington. Today we will be reading Vafthrudnir's Sayings. And this is a fairly short chapter. As the seers' prophecy, sayings of the highest ones, and Grimnir's sayings show, Odin is characterized by his obsessive quest for wisdom, particularly for information about Ragnarok. In this poem, he sets off against his wife's advice, disguised as a poor wanderer, to test his wisdom against the giant, Vafthrudnir, known only from this poem. Once Odin has proved his mettle by answering questions which the giant puts to him, he is invited to risk his head in questioning the giant. Vafthrudnir's sayings belongs to the genre of the wisdom contest, known in many other cultures. Two protagonists ask each other questions or riddles until one fails to answer. Thus the questioner must know the answer to his question. The answerer corroborates the interlocutor's information rather than providing new facts. The trick question with which Odin wins the contest seems to be a favorite of his, since he also uses it to secure victory in a riddle contest against King Heidrek in Heidrek's saga. Vafthrudnir's questions elicit simple mythological facts: the names of the horses who draw the day and the night, the name of the river which divides giants and gods, and of the field and on which the battle of Ragnarok will be fought. Odin's questions are more pointed. He draws out the history of the universe, its past and present, culminating in questions about the future and Ragnarok. Some scholars have speculated that Odin's real aim is to discover his own fate. Once he hears about the wolf, he brings the contest to a speedy end with his unanswerable question. Odin alone knows what he whispered in Baldur's ear, but it has been guessed that Baldur is assured of his return after Ragnarok, as the seers' prophecy, verse 59, tells us, to rule over the gods who survive. As a contest between god and giant, Vafthrudnir's sayings is a mimetic of Ragnarok. His answers emphasize the ancientness and authority of the giants as the first of beings, but Odin's questions lead away from the giants and their claims to the final triumph of gods and men. It is they, Odin's descendants and creations, if not Odin himself, who will survive the final conflagration. The giants may have had a past, but they have no future. Vafthrudnir's defeat in the contest symbolizes the final defeat in time of the giant race. Odin said, "Advise me now, Frigg, for I long to journey to visit Vafthrudnir. I have a great curiosity to contend in ancient matters with that all-wise giant." Frigg said, "I'd rather keep the Father of Hosts at home in the courts of the gods, for I know no giant to be as powerful as Vafthrudnir is. Much I have traveled, much have I tried out, much have I tested the powers. This I want to know, what kind of company is found in Vafthrudnir's hall. Journey safely, come back safely, be safe on the way. May your mind be sufficient when, father of men, you speak with the giant." Then Odin went to try the wisdom of the all-wise giant. To the hall he came, which Im's father owned. Odin went inside. "Greetings, Vafthrudnir. Now I have come into the hall to see you in person. This I want to know first, whether you are wise or very wise, giant." "What man is this who addresses me in hostile fashion in my hall? May you not come out of our halls alive unless you should be the wiser one." "Gragnard, I am called. Now I have come walking thirsty to your hall, in need of hospitality and of your welcome. I have journeyed long, giant." "Why, Gagnorad, do you speak thus from the floor? Come take a seat in the hall. Then we shall test which one knows more, the guest or the old sage. The poor man who comes to the wealthy one should speak when be needful or be silent. To be too talkative, I think, will bring bad results, when one comes to cold-ribbed men. Tell me, Gagnrad, since on the hall floor you want to try your skill, what that horse is called who draws every day over mankind. Shining Mane, the Shining One is called, who draws day over mankind. The best of horses he is held to be among the Hridgoths. Always that horse's mane gleams. Tell me, Gagnrad, since on the hall floor you want to try your skill, what that horse is called who from the east draws night to the beneficent powers. Frostmane he is called, who draws every night to the beneficent powers. Foam from his bit he lets fall every morning, from their dew comes to the valleys. Tell me, Gagnrad, since on the hall floor you want to try your skill, what that river is called which divides the land between the sons of giants and the gods. Ifing the river is called which divides the land between the sons of giants and the gods. Freely it will flow through all time. Ice never forms on the river. Tell me, Gagnrad, since on the hall floor you want to try your skill, what that plain is called where in battle Surt and the good-tempered gods will meet. Vigrid the plain is called where in battle Surt and the good-tempered gods will meet. 100 leagues it is in each direction, that is the field ordained for them. Wise you are, guest, come to the giant's bench, and we shall speak together in the seat. We shall wager our heads in the hall, guest, on our wisdom. Tell me this one thing if your mind is sufficient, and you, Vafthrudnir, know. From where the earth came or the sky above, first, O wise giant. From Ymir's flesh the earth was shaped, and the mountains from his bones. The sky from the skull of the frost-cold giant, and the sea from his blood. Tell me this second thing if your mind is sufficient, and you, Vafthrudnir, know. From where the moon came so that it journeys over men, and likewise the sun. Mundufari he is called, the father of moon and likewise of sun. They must circle through the sky every day to count the years for men. Tell me this third thing, since you are said to be wise, and you, Vafthrudnir, know, where day comes from, he who passes over mankind, or night with its new moons. Delling he is called, he is day's father, and night was born of Nor. New moon and dark of the moon the beneficent powers made to count the years of men. Tell me this fourth thing, since you are said to be wise, and you, Vafthrudnir, know. From where winter came or warm summer, first among the wise powers. Wind cool he is called, winter's father, and mild one, the father of summer. Tell me this fifth thing, since you are said to be wise, and you, Vafthrudnir, know. Who is the eldest of the Asir of Ymir's descendants in bygone days? Uncountable winters before the earth was made, then Bergelmir was born. Thrudgelmir was his father, and Argelmir his grandfather. Tell me this sixth thing, since you are said to be wise, and you, Vafthrudnir, know, from where Argelmir came among the sons of giants, first the wise giant. Out of Elagavar sprayed poison drops, so they grew until a giant came of them. From there arose all our clan, thus they are all always terrifying. Tell me this seventh thing, since you are said to be wise, and you, Vafthrudnir, know, how he got children, that fierce giant, when he had no sport with giantesses. They said that under the frost giant's arms a girl and boy grew together. 1 foot with the other of the wise giant beget a 6-headed son. Tell me this eighth thing, since you are said to be wise, and you, Vafthrudnir, know. What you first remember, or what you know to be earliest, you are all wise, giant. Uncountable winters before the world was made, then Bergelmir was born. Then I remember first when the wise giant was first laid in his coffin. Tell me this ninth thing, since you are said to be wise, and you, Vafthrudnir, know, where the wind comes from which blows over the waves, which men never see itself. Carrion Swallower he is called, who sits at heaven's end, a giant in eagle's shape. From his wings, they say, the wind blows over all men. Tell me this 10th thing, since all the fate of the gods you Vafthrudnir know. From where Njord came to the sons of the Aesir, he who rules over very many temples and sanctuaries, and he was not raised among the Aesir. In Vanaheim the wise powers made him, and gave him as hostage to the gods. At the doom of men he will come back home among the wise Vanir. Tell me that 11th thing, where men fight in the courts every day. All the Einherjar fight in Odin's courts every day. They choose the slain and ride from the battle, then they sit the more at peace together. Tell me this 12th thing, why all the fate of the gods you, Vafthrudnir, know. Of the secrets of the giants and of all the gods, tell most truly, all-wise giant. Of the secrets of the giants and of the gods, I can tell truly, for I have been into every world. 9 worlds I have traveled through to Mist Hell. There men die down out of hell. Much I have traveled, much have I tried out, much have I tested the powers, which humans will survive when the famous mighty winter is over among men. Life and Vafthrudnir, and they will hide in Hodamir's wood. They will have the morning dew for food, from them generations will spring. Much I have traveled, much I have tried out, much have I tested the powers. From where will a sun come into the smooth heaven when Fenrir has destroyed this one? Elf Radiance will bear a daughter before Fenrir destroys her. She shall ride when the powers die, the girl on her mother's paths. Much I have traveled, much have I tried out, much have I tested the powers. Who are those girls who glide over the sea, wise in spirit they journey? 3 mighty rivers flow over the settlement of Mogtharsir's girls. Theirs are the only protective spirits in this world, although they were raised among giants. Much have I traveled, much have I tried out, much have I tested the powers. Which Aesir will rule over the gods' possessions when Surt's fire is slaked? Vidar and Vali will live in the gods' sanctuaries when Surt's fire is slaked. Modi and Magni shall have Mjolnir and demonstrate battle strength. Much I have traveled, much have I tried out, much have I tested the powers. What will Odin's life's end be when the powers are torn apart? The wolf will swallow the father of men. Vidar will avenge this. The cold jaws of the wolf he will sunder in battle. Much have I traveled, much have I tried out, much have I tested the powers. What did Odin say into his son's ear before he mounted the pyre? No man knows what you said in bygone days into your son's ear. With doomed mouth I've spoken my ancient lore about the fate of the gods. I've been contending with Odin in words of wisdom. You'll always be the wisest of beings. This was the Vafthrudnir's sayings. Until next time, good day.